the title is What We Become. I think it's just referring to how far Michonne has come and who she could have potentially become if she didn't make some of the choices that she made. It connects to the opening minutes about an alternate universe scene. It's Ash from Super Videos, back to talk about Season 10 of The Walking Dead. This is my episode predictions for the upcoming episode of The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 13, which is called What We Become. As always, we're going to take a look at the title and synopsis for this episode, and then I'm going to share my general thoughts about what I think we're going to see and some of the plot points I think we're going to have at some point during this episode. Now, one final thing I want to say before diving in, for those of you who may not know, this is actually Michonne's final episode. She will not appear in any episode after this one, which is a big deal. And we've been waiting for this episode for a long time, and I am happy that we're finally here. But this episode is going to focus on Michonne. It's going to be a Michonne-centric episode, and we're not going to pick up exactly where we left off in the last episode where we had Alpha's death. It's going to be a complete 180 of where the story was in the last episode and where the story starts in this episode, I think. But with that, let's jump right into it. So the title is What We Become. This is an interesting title, and I think it refers to Michonne. I think it's just referring to how far Michonne has come and who she could have potentially become if she didn't make some of the choices that she made. And I'll explain what I mean by that. It connects to the opening minutes and what I talked about in my other video about an alternate universe scene. We're going to get to that. But it's connected to what they're going to do with Michonne in terms of connecting her past to her current situation. The synopsis of this episode reads, Michonne takes Virgil back to his island to find his family. In exchange, Virgil offers weapons. There isn't really too much there to talk about. All of this was revealed to us in the last episode that we saw Michonne in. Like, that's the reason she left. She left because Virgil told her that he's in an island or from an island where they have a lot of weapons. It used to be a naval base, a military research lab facility, and that Michonne can come with Virgil to get those weapons. And in exchange, Michonne is going to help Virgil find his family. Now, in terms of the stuff I think we're going to see in this episode, the first thing I think we're going to see, which connects to the opening minutes and the title, is we're going to see Michonne's past being revisited, but this time in an alternate universe. And we're going to continue checking back with Michonne in this alternate universe as Michonne's current storyline is playing out. And those two universes, the current one and the alternate one, may parallel each other in some sort of way. Now, for those of you who missed my opening minute sneak peek breakdown, make sure to go check that out. I go in depth into explaining what this alternate universe could look like, but just to give you a general sense of what we talked about in that video and what I think this alternate universe looks like. I think in this alternate universe, we're going to pick up with seeing Michonne finding Andrea. For those of you who don't know, that was actually Michonne's first scene in the series when she showed up with her walker pets and saved Andrea. Now, in the opening minutes, we see that exact thing. We see Michonne finding Andrea, but it doesn't play out the same as it does in the actual timeline where Michonne saves Andrea. What happens instead is Michonne just looks away and lets Andrea die. I think it tells us a lot about where they're going with Michonne's story, bringing these alternate universe scenes in there. I think we're going to revisit scenes from the past, but Michonne is going to make different decisions than the decisions she actually made in the past. And I think those decisions are going to slowly build her up to be a bad person, to become a villain, just like Negan. And I think that's going to connect at some point to the scene that I have in the back with Michonne holding Lucille, pointing it at someone. I think that that's in that alternate universe, and all of Michonne's decisions in the alternate universe has pushed her to becoming someone like Negan, who potentially kills someone as innocent as Glenn and Abraham. So I think that's where that story is going, and that's where the alternate universe story is coming in. And I think, like I said, they're gonna have that parallel Michonne's current storyline and what she's going through right now. The next thing we're obviously gonna see is Michonne and Virgil and their journey to that island that Virgil was talking about, which has the military supplies that Virgil talked about. I don't think that's going to happen right away. Like when we see Michonne again in the current timeline, I don't think they'll be at the island. I don't think it'll be the end of their journey. I think there's going to be a period of time where we're going to see them get to the island, and they may find some trouble along the way as well. The next thing we're going to see is Virgil is going to come clean to Michonne about why he brought Michonne along. This was also in another sneak peek that I also talked about in that other video, my sneak peek breakdown. But Virgil pretty much says, my family is in the island, but there's a threat there. It's not clear. I need your help because you're good with the sword, you're good with dealing with walkers and everything, to get my family out. So that connects to my prediction here. I think Virgil is going to come clean to Michonne, but I think at some point Michonne is going to agree to help. And I think the fact that Virgil thinks the weapons are there is good enough for Michonne to risk to help him to get her hands on those weapons. The next thing we're going to see is we're actually going to see the island. It's going to be cleared up like we saw in the trailer, but I think they will get there, and the military research facility or the naval base will be somewhere in the island, so they're going to get there. And I think there will be possible references to the CRM, the same group that took Rick, before we even learn more about Virgil and his true intentions. But the next thing we're going to see is Michonne is going to learn more about the island and its past, and she's going to come to find what Virgil's real motives are and what his real intentions are. And I think Virgil knows about CRM. Now there's two ways this could go. One is that Virgil was sent by CRM soldiers themselves to bring Michonne to CRM, which means that they know about Michonne, they know about Rick and Michonne's connection and all of that. Or someone like Rick or Jadis sent Virgil to bring Michonne to the CRM because they need her help. Now one question does come up. Why don't Rick and Jadis, or just Rick, leave CRM? I think the answer to that is very simple. I think the CRM is holding Rick's family and his community as leverage. So they may have told him that if you leave, if anything happens, if we are under threat at any point, and it's because of something you did, we're going to go destroy your communities and kill your friends and family. I think that's what's keeping Rick back at the CRM. But I do think that Virgil was sent by someone from CRM to come and get Michonne. And I think based on what we've seen in the trailer and the images that they've released, I've already broke down the trailers, but I will do a video right after this one looking at the pictures as well. I already did talk about this one picture in question, which connects to Michonne being trapped, so you can go and check that video out, but I will release my video talking about the photos after this video is posted. But going back to what I was saying, I think Virgil is gonna trap Michonne in a room, and he's gonna be looking to either trade her to CRM, just like Jadis, or he's keeping her there until he can transport her to CRM, because Rick or Jadis wanted Michonne at the CRM for whatever reason. And I think just to wrap things up, this episode and Michonne's story will be open-ended. She will have an open-ended exit in which she has the opportunity to pop back up in the Walking Dead movies at the CRM communities and reunite with Rick in one way, shape, or another. I don't think Michonne is gonna die. I think that it'll go against everything they've set up so far. So I'm leaning more towards her actually having an open-ended exit in this episode. But I want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about my predictions in the comment section below. How much of it do you agree with, and how much of it do you think they're gonna do differently? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.